Welcome to Cut the Sith Reading Club Episode 10, where we discuss Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising by Timothy Zahn. The end of the book, chapters 17 to 23, I believe. And Sierra's not here today, but I do have the rest of the gang with, I'm just going to say Alex, because that's going to be too hard to pronounce.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Young Steve.
Yes, young May.
Ryan, if he's not at dinner right now.
I'm here for now.
Good man. And Yona.
What is up, everyone?
Okay, so I know Yona hated the book. How about the rest of you guys?
It didn't really do it for me. Like, I enjoyed it more for the world building and for the lore. I enjoyed learning more about the Chiss. But overall, like, I could not tell you the first thing what the plot of this book really was.
Thank you.
Was to stop the Nicardoon, I think?
It was to stop enemy pirates or raiders or something like that. And not a lot of people really liked Thrawn because he was too good at what he did.
Like, if they just stayed out of Thrawn's way, this book would have been like 5 chapters.
Right.
Yeah.
He could have stopped General Yiv any time he wanted. It's just that he had to jump through so many hoops with
And
the
red tape, yeah.
Because even that plan at the end, it was like, well, even if they succeed, you might get in trouble for it anyways. He's like, well, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, it was a hard read. Going off what Steve just said, like, couldn't tell you the big, like, plot progression points in this book, like what they were. It just felt kind of, I feel like I didn't really get much story. It was world building for sure, but I feel like story-wise, I was not entertained.
It wasn't a bad book, but like everyone else said, I have no idea what was going on 90% of the time. But Thank God for the audiobook, because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have been like, I don't think I'm going to finish this book.
How is his voice as Cherry or Sherry, whatever her name's pronounced?
Well, it's very great, but it's incredibly breaking in a sense. I'm trying to listen to it seriously, and then all of a sudden he breaks out this like young girl voice that sounds nothing like a young girl.
That's great.
Very immersion breaking.
It's like I liked the book, but I liked the book for Thrawn. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. And you know, also like Steve said, I like actually learning about the Chiss and seeing like what their day-to-day is like. But I mean, just to echo everybody else, the actual plot fell a little flat. It was a plot, that's it. It was just a very simple plot.
Also, right from the get-go, really quick, the names killed me. Like, everyone had so many names and previous names and memory names and fucking this name. And when they were in this family, it's this fucking name. Anyway, I could not follow some of these people.
I don't know that the glossary at the start of the book was helpful enough.
It was not.
Because it said who everybody is now, but it didn't say, like, what their names were before, or, like, you know, it could have been a lot more detailed. I don't know, like, just bouncing off what everyone else has said. The plot itself, I felt, was just very dense. Like, it just, it didn't really hold your hand or anything like that. It just kind of went 0 to 100 real quick. And, you know, for casual Star Wars fans, or even for like a more seasoned Star Wars fan, like, it's hard to get into. It's very dense. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I loved it for the Thrawn part, dealing with the Chiss and stuff. I didn't give a fuck about General Yiv, the Nicardoon, any of that stuff going on. And I took notes on every chapter and every memory. The parts that dealt with like the Chiss and the politics and stuff, my notes were like multiple paragraphs. The shit dealing with General Yiv, it's like, oh, Thrawn has to deal with these stupid space pirates again. It was like 2 sentences. It was like, I do not care about him at all. And he was such a useless character. All it was just a plot point to show how smarter Thrawn is than everyone at battle tactics. They were like, we have to throw in some like enemy force that looks like they're larger than life that no one else in the chaos can deal with, just to show that yeah, Thrawn can beat this guy in like 3 chess moves. And that's what he did when he finally got the opportunity to.
Yeah, and Yiv as a character, for me at least, was forgettable.
Yeah,
ask me about him a year from now, or like
the
who was the main
most
antagonist.
interesting thing about Yiv is at the very end when you find out he has a master. That is it. When you find out he's actually working for someone, and you're like, oh, so this is going to continue. This is going to continue into the second book, because for those that don't know, I'm sure everyone does know, it's the first book in a planned trilogy.
Which I will not be taking a part of.
I mean,
I will be.
I probably will keep reading too, because I'm interested in learning more about the other Chiss. Like, I liked Aralani, I liked Talius, I liked some of the other side characters that showed up, like the key.
I don't know. Come whenever the last of these books come out, you guys are going to have to really convince me that there's like some mega moment that happens. Otherwise,
at least a year away.
If it's
that being said, like the story itself was kind of weak, and I'm kind of like, okay, so like you have a bad guy that you're working for. Can you really draw this out over the course of an entire trilogy?
Well, the thing is too, so the book feels dense because they add in all these like characters, they add in all these parts with the stupid like Yiv and the pirates, but then they like gloss over the stuff I actually wanted to read about.
Same.
The trials were like half a chapter.
And not even.
And it was like, oh, she took a bunch of like tests. At one point, they were like, she did the first trial where she had to like find the map, and then I was like, all right, 9 trials later, I was like, you just glossed over the entire trials, and even at the end, they're like, yeah, well, there's nothing. You're just a trial boy now.
Okay. Speaking of stuff that they glossed over, I really wanted to see Thrawn's partnership with Anakin from Thrawn's perspective. And we got Sherry's perspective when they first met each other at the end of chapter 17. But then it just, noodle incident time skipped and was like, okay, great. I went on an adventure with Anakin Skywalker, and now I'm back here. And it's like, I wanted to see that. Like, I've read Alliances, so I know how it goes. But I would have been very keen on hearing his perspective.
Yeah, Steve, I was telling Alex, I go, if this was a comic book, at the end of that chapter, there would have been an editor's note being like, see Thrawn Alliances. Because it literally is just like, all right, he meets Anakin. There's an entire book out there that deals with what the hell they did. And then it skips 5 weeks. And it's like, all right, Thrawn's back.
Half a book, technically, because the other half of the book is about what they do during the Galactic Civil War as Thrawn and Vader. So,
honestly, that part, I didn't even keep that in mind. Alliances or anything like that, so it's like I was sitting there listening, and I was doing something menial, and then they were like Anakin, and I was like, hold on, we need to back
up. I will tell you,
just the big old letters. Yeah,
I will.
Then they fucking skip and they leave, and I haven't read Alliances, so I have no idea what happened.
You have to buy the other book. You have to buy the other book now, Alex.
There was another highlight of the audiobook. It's that Yiv had a Jamaican accent, and I loved every second of that.
Get out of here. Oh my God.
And I even said something to Colin. I was like, the B-rate fucking accent on Yiv the Benevolent is, for nothing else, if you go listen to an audio version of that just to hear him, especially like that back and forth between him and Thrawn, it's really hard to sit there and laugh.
It was fantastic.
I told Ryan he has to listen to one of the audiobooks where there's like an intimate romantic scene, and he's doing both voices, like being sexy to each other.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's a wonderful narrator.
I will say,
take it away from him.
Since Doctor Aphra was produced as an audiobook, I believe all the characters have different voice actors, right, Steve?
For the most part. You
listened to it, right?
I did listen to it already. It is very good. There are different, like, it's a full voice cast.
Yeah, because that's how Duke Jedi Lost was.
And rather than having like a narrator, Aphra herself basically narrates everything that happens as notes, and then it's intercut with like the dialogue and the sound effects.
Is it, Steve, how did you buy it?
I got it on Audible.
So yeah, I'm gonna have Sharon, my fiance, like download a free Audible, because I bought Audible but downloaded the wrong book, and now I'm paying for Audible. And if I want to get Doctor Aphra, I have to pay extra for the plus thing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I joined because my sister has Prime, so I just joined her thing through like a family plan so I can use her Prime. And because of that, we share audiobooks and like Audible purchases and like Kindle purchases. And she had like 7 unused Audible credits because she has a monthly subscription. So I was like, can I have one for this? And she was like, sure.
Nice.
I get a couple
Good deal.
of copies.
So I got it for free technically.
Nice.
Good deal.
Honestly, that's.
I want to jump to the end of the book.
Do it.
Brother.
Who is Jixtus? And why does he want to destroy the Chiss? I want some wild theories.
You want a hot take?
If he's anything like Yiv, I don't give a shit. No.
I don't think my take's that hot because I was like Alex. I told Alex this earlier. And I was like, I need some hot takes. Then Alex gives a take that's like 80% the same thing I was going to say.
Well,
So
because
Alex,
great minds think alike.
go ahead with your take.
All right. Especially with the Audible version of it, and maybe you guys can attest to it too with the written version. The way that Jixtus comes off the entire time is initially I was like, is this MF or Thrawn? Like, is this Thrawn playing with him right now? And then I was like, all right, well, come on, Alex, it's not Thrawn, don't be stupid. But I feel like this person could be a very, very disenfranchised ex-member of the Ascendancy, or maybe an ex-member of the Aristocra. I don't know. I feel like it's a Chiss. Because he seems really hell-bent on, ruining them, and especially getting to fucking Thrawn.
My whole theory was completely ripped from Martian Manhunter. Based solely on the fact I know nothing about Martian Manhunter outside of the Supergirl CW show. But I was like, there was a different race of Chiss on that planet. And the regular Chiss that we know are basically the white Martians. And they destroyed this other race of Chiss who are basically the green Martians.
I was kind of hoping you were saying red versus blue, but all right, we'll go with white Martians and blue Martians.
No, the Martians are from Supergirl. I don't know what color the other Chiss are. We can say they're red. They're red with blue eyes.
It'd be the red Chiss with blue eyes.
Yeah. And this man's the last survivor. And he's the last survivor when this happened over like a few thousand years ago that no one remembers. But luckily for him, he's able to transport through the world between worlds, because that's where he pulled Quillari at the end and was like, listen, I can drop you in the middle of space if you don't fucking do what I say. We're traveling time, baby.
Was that what it was at the end? I'll admit I kind of like I'll admit I kind of like flipped through the end. At that point, I was kind of like done.
He comes out of his like
sketchy, yeah. He comes out of nowhere. He turns everything off, makes everybody disappear.
Are the because I know we talked about this in the first thing, because like how the Skywalkers go into third sight and the navigators have a similar thing. Are like the Pathfinders Guild, they're like slightly force sensitive? Because is he like doing some like force meditation thing? Because he comes out of whatever he's in, and then he just hears this ominous voice, and then the dude was basically like, listen, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like, you step out there, you will be out in like the middle of space. So you basically have to do what I say now. We're gonna destroy the Chiss. And he's like, you know what? I hate Thrawn, so works for me. So I'm like, did this dude just pull him into the world between worlds? Because Timothy Zahn specifically has said, if they don't do a Star Wars Rebels sequel, he has ideas for the future of Thrawn, Ezra, and the world between worlds and all that stuff.
Very good.
Well, not exactly the world between worlds, but it does have ideas, Thrawn and Ezra.
Yeah, because even in the audio version,
this dude sounds like an ominous god. How can he just like talk to someone out of nowhere? Unless he has like the Force too and was like force projecting himself.
Lovecraftian, sort of. The way that he's just able to like reach out and get to this guy and like talk to him on a completely separate plane than anyone else can really get to him. Part of me wonders if maybe this is like some Snoke damage control. I personally just want them to fix Snoke. Because I was not very...
to be Palpatine?
No, I want it to be Snoke. I want it to be the actual
they're the
Snoke.
same person, Steve.
that would be cool.
Shut up. They are not the same
They're
person.
the same
100%
person.
the same. Well,
They're
no,
not 100%
because his son
the same
was a clone
person.
too.
Mm-hmm.
What a twist.
I want them to fix Snoke and make him an actual character and not just some weird proxy puppet of Palpatine's.
Snoke had
Fair.
so much potential, and he got cut in half for like randomly, no reason.
It was subversive entertainment. But I don't know. Like, I think that the unknown regions would be a very interesting, like there's a lot of really interesting threats and enemies and creatures and people that the likes of which we haven't really seen. I don't know exactly how Snoke was created. I know they implied that he was just like some clone that was created in a facility on Exegol. But like Scylla and Exegol are like a hop, skip, and a jump away from each other. Part of me wonders if like maybe Snoke, the original Snoke, and you know, whatever facility led to his prolonging of life or whatever, might have been like hijacked by Palpatine at some point or another, like during the course of the Galactic Civil War. Yes, please take me off of my wild crackpot.
No, because you told me I was going to ask you a question today before I even knew I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah, shoot, go ahead.
Do they recruit Jedi from the unknown regions?
I do not know. That is a good question. I'm not 100% sure.
Because it's called the unknown regions. I assume that's because they don't actually go out there.
That's where Revan ended up. The unknown regions.
Ryan, none of this non-canon stuff that nobody cares about.
He's canon.
With my Revan lightsaber and action figure behind me. But because the Skywalkers are Force sensitive, it seems like the Pathfinders are Force sensitive. Exegol, the Sith homeworld, is right near Scylla. It seems like there could be dark Force users in the unknown regions, but no like Jedi. So it's plausible that we could have fucking Snoke, the original Snoke, out there before, you know, Palpatine stole his body.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for validating my wild theory here.
And Jixtus could be a dark Force user who was Force projecting himself. He could be, what was that stupid Jedi clone in the 90s Thrawn trilogy?
Oh, like a Sabayoth?
Yeah, Sabayoth. It could be like a new version of Sabayoth where it is basically like a dark Jedi. And that could be how, because it really is just an ominous voice doesn't just come out of nowhere. So it's like he has to either be an omnipotent god, something that can pass through time and space, or someone who can Force project themselves out. So it could be like a dark Jedi Force project himself who wants to destroy the Chiss, because maybe there was a war between the Chiss and the Jedi, or the Chiss and the Sith. And he's like, or he was a goddamn red Chiss and his people got destroyed 10,000 years ago. And he survived in the world between worlds, outside of time and space, on pure hatred, like Darth Maul. And then he pulled himself through this door when he was like, all right, their planet's frozen. There's only like 8,000 of them down there now. I'm going to fuck with these people. And
Timothy Zahn's just watching this video right now like red Chiss. This is good. This is good. This writes itself, really.
He's like,
keep it going. Keep it
Stephen
going.
King in the 80s.
Honestly. Well, I mean, the thing that at first when that whole thing happened, I was like, is this guy on the ship? Is he just in, you know, some random command room and hit a kill switch and had everybody just go wait in the back for a little while? But then, like, I went back and completely re-listened to that part again, and I was just like, I don't know. I feel like Colin may be onto something about that, because the way it seems is, you know, you're goddamn right, and this is all recorded. So when he comes, he's pulled out of his trance. He notices that nothing, you know, none of the gauges are on in the sensory deprivation tank. And he goes out there and he's just like, this was a full flight deck and now it's completely deserted. And to me, it kind of felt like, you know in Stranger Things when Will goes in between and you can see the upside down,
when
but
Will goes to
everybody
the world between worlds.
Yeah, but everybody else can. I feel like at that point with Kilori, he was sitting there fucking talking to himself. Essentially, came out of hyperspace, and we don't see that perspective. But everybody else that was on that command deck's kind of looking at him like, "Is he okay?" And then, because at the end of it, you know, the omnipotent voice is just like, "All right, go back in there, brother. You're good. We're good. I will call you later. You don't call me, I'll call you." And he goes back in there, everything comes back on, he proceeds on his way. So I don't know, to me, I think there's too many holes in this is somebody on this ship. Like, this is some person that is physically there right now.
It's a former female, because we've only seen female Chiss Skywalkers for hours, so I'm just going to go in the opinion that they're only female. It's a former female Chiss Skywalker who retained her Force abilities. Didn't lose them at the age of 13, was goddamn ostracized and shunned for it, and thrown away. And then she went to Exegol, where she met Snoke, became his apprentice, and they teamed up, and now they're using their dark force powers to destroy the Chiss. Right, Steve?
What you just said.
I'm just Googling it now, or Googling this.
I was trying to actually, as you were speaking, I was looking up the 9 ruling family names to see if Jixtus could be like a core name of one of the 9 ruling families.
Would
and I don't
much prefer it to be like a poor person.
Oh, that could be too.
Because that's my main gripe with the sequel trilogy. Not to get on like the Disney movies again. Rey should have been a nobody.
Rey nobody for life. Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense for her to be a nobody going against the grandson of the Chosen One. Like, come on. Why do we need the grandson of the Chosen One against the granddaughter of Palpatine? It should have been a nobody. But I digress.
Fair.
Back to the book.
Thank you for digressing, because if you hadn't, we'd be here all night talking about it.
What else happened in this section of the book? I kind of speed read it because I wasn't feeling.
I sort of speed read it too, so I couldn't really tell you a whole ton about what happens. During Tallius's trial, she did meet the patriarch of the family.
He was kind of cool.
And he was like, a lot. I'm responsible for Thrawn being in the family, and the rest of these people don't want him in the family.
I kind of liked that aspect, though, because to me...
Take care of my Thrawny.
Yeah, it's like, to me, the patriarch is, you know, essentially... I don't know, I always kind of like when he's essentially looked at like a novelty by the rest of the Myth family. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, not for nothing, this guy's clearly been the patriarch for quite a while. He seems very knowledgeable. And let's be real, Thrawn is probably one of the better characters, like overall character in the new canon. So,
you know what it reminded me of? Not to get back into our Game of Thrones comparisons. Jon Snow and that old dude that used to be in charge of the Night Watch that like gave him the sword.
Yeah, Targaryen. Aemon or Aegon?
Aemon.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, this is his Jon Snow.
Honestly, I hope Thalius plays a role
Thalius
in
is
the next
Sam.
book. Yeah, kind of. You know, just, well, to an extent. I guess not really, but I liked her character. I kind of hope there's more to come. I'm letting off the gas a little bit with my hatred for Cheery. Listen, she ain't that bad, all right? She seems like a quick learner.
In 5 weeks, she became an ace pilot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, there's got to be something good in there. So, I didn't mind her either.
Now, if Anakin taught her how to fly, she'd be an even better pilot.
Well, I don't believe she's in Thrawn Alliances at all, right?
I don't remember her being in Thrawn Alliances.
So does she just stay on that ship for like the entire 5 weeks?
I guess.
When he goes to see Anakin, he's like, "You'll be fine on the ship by yourself, right?" And she's like, "I know that if I told him I wasn't, he would just stay here with me." But she's like,
okay,
"No,
so wait, quick question. The Grisk were the people that Thrawn met in the beginning, whatever first chapters that we read, that one of them gave him the ring, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to go
and
through
that's
my
all
notes,
we've
but
heard
yes.
of them in this book. right? Or am I missing something?
There's that part, and then don't we see them one more time, or there's a reference to them one more time, or am I mixing it up and it was all just in that one part?
In this book or in general? Because I thought the Gris were in a different Thrawn book in the original Disney trilogy.
For me, I'm just asking about in regards to this book.
I'm not entirely sure if they show.
Okay, so just this is me doing internet searching really quick. Someone said, okay, what if it's this guy Jixtus Grisk?
I wouldn't like that.
Well, now that I've thought about that, then the cover of the book has the cool snake thing going on, which is on the ring that was given to Thrawn, right? Huh?
Okay, fair. That's a fair, logical, deductive argument.
Right?
Legit.
It could be. Those little bastards could come back and, cause a hellstorm.
I mean, so the one thing that got me all excited as I'm doing my little Googling right now is it said that they had enough spaceships to blot out stars in the sky, and immediately my mind went to the 300, enough arrows to blot out the sky.
Someone who just beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm well versed in the 300.
Anyway. Yeah, just
grandson
seeing
of
someone say, I hope it's a Grisk, and then thinking about the cover of the book.
I'm sorry, no, it's going to be a red Chiss that is the apprentice of Snoke. Me and Steve already decided this.
You're going to be sorely disappointed, man.
Now
Steve looks sore. I'll be right
I
back.
just want Snoke to get fixed, guys. That's all I want. No, it's never going to happen. That ship has sailed. Snoke has sailed.
What's gonna happen is at the end of the third book, he's gonna die in a close battle against Palpatine. He's gonna get screwed somehow against one of Palpatine's clones. And then Palpatine's gonna be like, you know what? This guy was such a prick. I'm gonna steal his body.
That's exactly what he's gonna do. Palpatine is just such a fucking asshole. Because at the end of Thrawn 2017, Thrawn's like, why are you allocating all your resources towards one mobile battle station? You should have an entire fleet of mobile, planet destroyers. And Palpatine's like, no. And then in Rise of Skywalker, he's like, I got a mobile fleet of planet destroyers now. I would not be surprised if he, rode on this dude in the Unknown Region's coattails and decided to just take all of his shit and all of his tech and, be like a usurper king and just, use someone else's tools for his own gain.
Well, Plagueis isn't canon anymore, so what if Snoke was the original Plagueis apprentice? No. And then Palpatine was like, I'm gonna kill you and steal your body.
Nah, I think they implied in one of the new Disney canon books that Plagueis was still Palpatine's old master. I want to say
I was actually up at
I meant the Plagueis novel's not canon anymore.
Watching the Plagueis Palpatine reenactment on this guy's YouTube channel, and it was glorious. I'll find you the link, but it was really good. I hope they keep Plagueis and Plagueis. That's it.
No, I'm not. That's what I was saying. I was saying the novel's not canon anymore. Because in the novel, he has another apprentice. And Palpatine, I think, or does Tenebrew have another apprentice? And Plagueis kills him.
Oh, I think
Tenebrous was Plagueis' master, yeah.
I think Tenebrous had another apprentice and Plagueis kills the guy. He gets another one after Plagueis.
Oh, yeah, true.
It was venomous or something?
Is that in the beginning of that book when they're in the
I'll look it up, hold on.
Darth Icky.
Well, my other thing too in defense of Snoke should have gotten a better story is I've read something that it's Snoke had to be a dark force user and a very powerful one, especially if Palpatine was using anybody as a vessel or a puppet, just the sheer fact of the amount of dark energy he had, even on Exegol, all of his clones were failing him because in deteriorating, I'm assuming because he was just too powerful. So Snoke, I'm assuming, had to be a relatively powerful force user for...
Yeah. I'm with Steve, though. I hope Snoke gets some kind of retribution.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I hope he gets something.
Plagueis, in the Plagueis novel, Tenebrew has two apprentices, Plagueis and Venomous. And Plagueis like, whoa, this goes against the rule of 2. And then Tenry was like, no, he's not officially a Sith apprentice. And I think Plagueis kills him. He kills Venomous at one point because he's like, I'm the only apprentice.
And then he kills Tenebris as well.
Yeah. What if Plagueis brought on the second one and brought on Snoke? And then Palpatine's like, I'm going to kill him, and then I'm going to put his body in the tank.
Use him as a puppet. What's the ultimate insult?
And now I'm gonna practice on his body. What if he was alive the whole time? He's like, I'm just gonna practice experiments with my weird little minions on this dude's body for like 100 years.
I remember the visual dictionary for Last Jedi before Rise of Skywalker came out and decided to apologize for everything The Last Jedi did for unknown reasons. Indicated that Snoke was like ancient and like hundreds, if not thousands of years old. And that, he wasn't a Sith, but he was a very powerful dark side user. So, like, he wasn't actually affiliated with the Sith at all, was what they indicated.
I wouldn't mind that. Just a dark force user from the unknown regions.
So,
Thrawn versus Snoke, I would lose my shit if they wrote that.
What? At the end of, because I haven't read 2017 in a while. At the end of 2017, why did Thrawn go to the Empire? Does it explain it?
Oh, don't tell us yet. Is that?
No, the spoiler limit's off.
We will take that offline, Colin. I'll message you offline.
Yeah, because I'm in process of going through the 2017.
This is important to the goddamn conversation about Thrawn.
Sorry about the Death Star spoiler then, by the way, Gianna. I thought that you'd already read it.
It's all good, man.
Because I wanted to know if that reasoning could be based on what's going to happen in the next 2 books in the series. If something is going to cause him to want to leave the Chaos and join the Empire.
Here's another wild theory. What if Jixtus is Yuzan Vong?
See, people have been wanting. Did Timothy Zahn create them?
I don't believe he did. No,
so
they were new. They were new Jedi Order. That would have been after Zahn's time.
Because people have been wanting them to come back, but I didn't. But that would be cool. But I don't know if he would bring them in since he didn't create them or not. Because it seems right now he's just basically slowly working in his things. Jixtus is gonna be Mara Jade. Well, no, can't because Sasha Banks is obviously Mara Jade.
Oh, Lord.
And
wait, Mara Jade's what? Luke's squeeze, like non-canon.
I'm gonna say this right now for all you Legends people out there. Mara Jade's a terrible character. Absolutely horrendous character. I do not. If it wasn't, I do not see the appeal to it. Get myself tongue twisted here.
So mad, Colin.
Get myself tongue twisted here.
Mad. Go on now.
The only reason people like Mara Jade is because they do not like how Disney treated the OG Star Wars character in the sequel trilogy. They don't like how Luke's story played out. That's the only reason they're pretending to like Mara Jade. Because here's the thing. Not everything in Legends was good. Most of it fucking sucks. A lot of it is good. Most of it sucks. Mara Jade is one of those things that fucking sucked. She was a horrible character. Horrible. And Mark Thompson's weird accent he used when he voiced her made me hate her more.
He gave her a really like bratty and petulant, like whiny sort of voice in the audiobook, which
Colin, check your chat.
I am right now.
Like at all.
I think everybody should check their chat.
That's for you, Colin.
Yes. Oh my God.
I fucking exit full screen to open this thing.
You was expecting someone else?
How the fuck do I open this stupid thing?
You go into the little button where it says chat, and then
there we go.
Chat.
I found it. No, the picture's not loading. I had to download it.
Oh, yes. Well, it's Darth Jar Jar.
I got it now.
Darth Jar Jar is Jixtus.
Yes. What if Jixtus
That'd be pretty amazing.
Jar Jar's master, the original Sith Gungan?
You know you'd eat that right up, too, if that ended up being truth.
Yona, I would be very annoyed that I wasn't on the writing staff.
True. You probably
Like,
could have
guys, I've
contributed a
had
real
these
lot.
stories written for years. I could have saved you time and money.
You could have given me all the money.
You could have just printed my Tumblr. Let's like, come on. Trying to think, what the fuck else happened in this book, in this section of the book?
I also, like everyone else, for the most part, speed read through the last.
Alex wanted to talk about Memories 11. I know he mentioned that to me. As
just about to get to that. Honestly, at least in the political part of this book, which I always enjoy learning about the politics of these different species. To me, Memory 11 was the only important memory. And even then, I only really liked it.
Whole book or just this section?
This section.
I was going to say, because that...
The whole book, the best memory was the art museum date.
Yes. Well, yeah, no, I was going to say, Thrawn getting a little bit of the Aralani tale is very different. I'm saying in this section.
But this is like a follow-up memory to the other. What was the other one before? Because this is the conclusion to the conversation they had in the previous memory. Was it Memory 10 or was it an earlier one?
I want to say it was Memories 10, but...
Yeah, did they do the memories back-to-back like that?
So I was going to say, most of the memories are pretty
fuck
good.
Is Memories 10 on my list?
Which I also told Colin. Memories 10 is in my other book.
If this book completely cut out the memories stuff, would you guys feel robbed? Like you missed out on a bunch?
100%, because I don't care about the Nakardun, and they're not in the memories at all. The memories were some of my most enjoyable parts because
definitely like gave some flesh to some of the characters.
The memories is how we learned that I think it was Memories 9, where we learned that the fucking planet's basically frozen over. And that they're like fucking chits aren't living there. Like we get most of the information about like the lore and shit from the memories. Because most of the present stuff is Thurfian and Zistelmute trying to undermine Thrawn, and Thrawn trying to deal with General Yiv and the Nakardun with the fucking Chiss just throwing rocks at him and him trying to dodge them.
And Memories 13, I liked it and I didn't like. I feel like in this one, and it's gonna play into how Thrawn ended. Everything went south between him and the Ascendancy. It's like I like that they're bringing up the fact that yes, this mysterious man has a weakness and it's clearly politics. But on the other hand of it, too, like in Memories 13, like they really were fucking beating a dead horse, in my opinion, about like
at one point in Memories 13, Thrawn goes to Aralani. He was like, all right, I understand it's my weakness. I'll get better at it. And then it's basically like in the note, it's like he would never learn politics.
He doesn't get better, Ron Howard voice.
Not at all.
But I feel like, not to go into spoilers in the future, but by the time Rebels happens, he's in the Empire. I feel like he understands politics.
I feel like he just doesn't care at that point. I feel like he's just like, whatever. I am not going to let red tape stop me from getting to my objective.
That was the thing, because I wouldn't call Thrawn an evil character, but I would say he's merciless.
He's an ambitious character.
Yeah,
I'd say that's different than being evil.
He's very objective.
In like the Thrawn 2017 in Rebels and stuff, like he is cold-hearted when it needs to be. In this book, he seemed to be like they hadn't shown that yet. He seemed to be like not stepping over the line, and then at the very end when she was like, well, if we pull this out, they're just gonna be like fucking frozen in space and die, and he's like, well, no witnesses. I was like, oh shit,
Black Ops, no witnesses.
He fucking killed everybody. I was like, that's my man, Thrawn. That's the Thrawn I was waiting for. I was waiting for that cold-hearted bastard to be like, the best move is to let all of them die. And he did it. And I was like, thank you.
Fair. I agree with you completely about that part. Throughout this, he was very, I don't want to say good guy, because I think he's just subjective. Like, I think he's neutral when it comes to it. He'll be on whatever path is, most conducive to whatever mission he feels he needs to complete. But I did really love that part where she's just like, well, what about everybody else? And he's just like, well, what about everybody else?
Yeah, because
they're gonna die.
Yep.
That's the first, I believe, the first time in this book where you could call them innocent lives because they were basically just under the rule of this dictator, where he lets innocent lives die because if he doesn't, it could fuck up his like plans later. So he basically lets an entire ship of innocent people die. And because that's the Thrawn I know from like the 2017 and Rebel stuff that would do that. But up until that point in the book, we had not seen it until he's like, no witnesses. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's like in the fucking End of Departed where they all just start shooting each other for no reason. Departed's a terrible fucking movie, by the way. We don't have to get onto that.
I want to hear your hot takes on The Departed at a later point in time.
It's a terrible movie.
It's been a while since I've watched that.
The end of the fucking movie where just everyone starts shooting each other.
Well, thanks for that, Colin. I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen The Departed? Well, no.
Oh,
There's
I know. I lived in Boston for like 4 years. I never saw The Departed.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
The fucking people in Boston don't like the movie. But I follow Avengers Endgame. You have 2 weeks, and then the spoiler thing's lifted. We can't be
reasonable.
You can't be policing the way people talk about
I know,
just because you
I'm
haven't
just-
seen something from 10 years. ago.
I'm just giving you shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was in college, Steve. College. We're talking 2012 when I was like in college. Some kid got mad that someone spoiled that Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII. I was like, that game came out in like 97. Like, fucking relax.
What? That's wild. Yeah.
I was like so mad at this person. So yeah, you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks on the spoiler tag is
wait,
lifted
you've
on
never
everything.
seen Avengers Endgame?
No, I've seen Endgame.
No,
I'm just
not
saying.
you.
No, Steve hasn't seen The Departed.
I haven't seen The Departed. I've seen Avengers Endgame.
Oh, okay.
No, Colin's saying he follows the rules of 2 weeks after the movie is out. It's fair game.
When 2 weeks after Endgame came out, they released that trailer for like Homecoming where it shows Tony Stark dead at like the beginning of the trailer.
And everyone's just like, and it's just like, okay, you've had 2 weeks to see this
And
movie,
they announced going into it, they go, on this day, it was like Monday something, or they're like, on this day, the spoiler ban for Endgame's listed. It's the highest solo movie of all time. If you didn't see it, that's your fault.
Yep.
It was playing in like 12 screens at every theater from 7 a.m. to like 2 a.m. It's like,
oh wait, before I forget, should we do the like rent a movie theater thing? Huh? $100?
You guys could do it for Empire. Empire is one of the movies that AMC's doing for it.
If they would let us play the holiday special.
No, it has to be one of the movies the theater has. That's what's great about the 40th anniversary re-release of Empire happening right before COVID went, because it's one of the movies they offer.
The only thing they'll play now.
Beautiful. They also offer Tenet, which I haven't seen, and
They offered Shrek.
They offer New Mutants, which I don't want to see.
I wanted to go see Shrek because it's it's one of my fiance's favorite movies, and I was like, well, maybe we could do this for our anniversary, but I was like,
that'd be nice.
We're not going to do that.
She has very good taste.
She does. She does.
Steve, give me $100, and I will project Shrek onto like the wall of my house, and then you guys can watch it over Zoom.
I mean, then I'm still going to just see it through the screen of my computer, so it's not really going
to... Just saying, it would be a very romantic date.
I mean, you can put your PayPal in the video description on YouTube or your Venmo and see if anyone else decides to take you up on that offer.
I hope they don't. It sounds like a lot of work. So what about those two assholes, Thurfian and Zistelmew, from two opposing families trying to work together to ruin Thrawn for literally why? Because he's fucking better than them?
I mean, A, yes.
Yep.
B, it's nice to see the families of the aristocra and the ascendancy coming together for one mutual goal. Okay? Thrawn brings people together.
I like how Thrawn worked this like a goddamn free agent. They were like, well, the myth can't offer you ranking distant like Arizi can, but we can give you Trialborn and your own spaceship. And he's like, all right, you know what? I better stay with the team I'm already on than just go to the other team for a higher rank.
Yeah.
And I was like, It was nice to find out how they got the Springhawk and the way they talked about it. Because, well, the Springhawk kind of sucked. When in the beginning of the book, they talk about the Springhawk being like a big deal ship because of what Thrawn did to it against like the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And then at like the end of the book, in the memory when they're giving him the Springhawk originally, it's like, well, that ship kind of sucks. But Thrawn took that ship and built up his prestige to the point that they were like trying to give it away to Samacro, who stole Thrawn's technique at the end of the book. That guy was just such a useless character, by the way. I thought there would be more when they first introduced him. As like, you were the Thrawn was the captain of the ship before the book takes place. They remove him because your family is like into politics, and put you at the head of the ship. And now Thrawn's like what, third in command, and then it gets fucking reversed. Now Thrawn's first in command. You're fucking Thrawn's second in command. And your second command, your third command, and the guy just sits there. And I will say,
Nothing.
Kudos to him. He sits there and he's like, you know what? I'm second in command. Thrawn's first in command, and just follows his order the entire time. I thought, though, it was going to be something where, at some point in this book, this dude was going to try and backstab him. And it's like, no, he was just like a soldier following orders. And I kind of didn't like that. I was like, the rest of these chits are backstabbing everyone. This motherfucker gets introduced, and I'm like, I'm waiting for you to backstab him. And he does not do anything until the end of this book when he's like battling the Yiv and he's doing like Thrawn's moves with the Springhawk. And it's like, okay, you fucking pointless piece of shit.
Honestly, I thought he was going to be more like a Vanto character.
How dare you insult Eli Vanto by comparing him to that fucking blue
Well,
asshole?
okay, no, I'm not comparing him. I'm saying initially I thought he would be more like that, and we were all painfully let down. Don't you look at me like that.
He just didn't really do anything by the end of the book. I was expecting, like, he started off as kind of like a hype man almost for Thrawn. Like, he backed Thrawn up when that one cadet kept like questioning his mental faculties or whatever. He was just like, that's not really inappropriate, or that's not really appropriate, excuse me. And then he just didn't really do anything after that.
No, he fucking disappears for most of the book. Just like a side
What if
character on
he's
Thrawn's ship.
Jixtus? What if he's Jixtus Khan?
Thank you. We need more Jixtus theories. I'm telling you this right now.
I'm gonna make a meme later on tonight that's just like, you know, Charlie Day at the board with all the string and everything trying to explain his Pepe Sylvia theory, but it's like you trying to explain your Jixtus theories.
I have an idea, and it's stolen from... Steve, have you been reading Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run?
I have not read comics in a while.
Do you care if I spoil the big reveal of Kindred?
I really don't.
Does anyone else care if I spoil the big reveal of Kindred?
Yes.
Oh, fuck you, Alex. No. Spoil it anyways. Your opinion I don't care about. So, you guys, are all you familiar with One More Day?
Yes.
All right, that's all. The only answer I cared about was Steve anyways. He's the only one that actually cares.
Oh, thank you.
Remember Harry Osborn pre-One More Day, how he dies of like a drug overdose, I think it was?
He had a drug overdose and he'd like fought Peter to the death, I think.
Yeah. And then in One More Day, after One More Day, when in Brand New Day, he comes back because like the timeline changed and shit when like they got rid of the marriage and erased it from existence. And he was alive. He went to like a rehab in Europe and he's all back and he's happy and healthy. Kindred is Harry Osborn. And it hasn't been confirmed, but most people believe because Kindred is a being that was dead, and he met Mysterio when he was dead. And Mysterio, I think, died after Harry Osborn, or he died before him?
After, I want to say.
He died after him. So, because I think someone said Harry died in 93, and Mysterio died in 97. So, apparently they met in, like, hell. So, Kindred is pre-One More Day Harry Osborn out to, like, exact his revenge on, like, fucking, like, Spider-Man and all his, like, friends and family.
That's awesome.
Jixtus is Legends Thrawn.
Traveling from the world between worlds.
He's Legends Thrawn.
Oh my god.
From the dead.
Legends Thrawn versus Canon Thrawn.
Well, honestly, even the way they made it seem in the audio novel, that's why I said it at first. Like the way it kind of just sounded like Thrawn was speaking to Keelori through like a voice box.
And we're gonna find out where he's gonna say his name Jixtus, and Thrawn's gonna be like, that rings a bell, and it's gonna find out it's like his birth father's like core name.
What if Jixtus is future Thrawn from the end of Rebels?
Oh shit.
Oh.
Well, see, I'd be annoyed by that because that means we're not getting a Star Wars Rebels sequel show. Because he's like, the only way I'll be able to write this is if Filoni doesn't want to. So if I see that happen, I'm gonna be like, motherfucker.
I want future Thrawn versus past Thrawn, though.
You're gonna get Legends Thrawn, all right?
Okay, Colin.
And you're gonna like it.
Legends Thrawn and Snoke are gonna team up to fight Thrawn. It's gonna be great.
Original Snoke is Sabayoth from Legends.
And then they're gonna team up and they're gonna train the Red Chiss.
The Red Chiss army. It's gonna happen.
Oh man.
This is a wild. Timothy Zahn, if you're listening to this, I really hope that you humor us and include at least one of these ideas. We've given you a lot of material to work with, Tim.
Tim, can I call you Tim? If you're listening to this, don't you have better things to do in your life? Literally, you could spend your time doing anything else. I want to say, too, young Tim, I'm completely sober coming up with these ideas. So, let's just say, what if it's Goku?
Hi there, you must be Thrawn. Like, just some shit.
I was going to say, that's what we would have gotten. We would have gotten a Super Saiyan sitting on the bridge of that deck just waiting.
I've heard you're really powerful.
Listen, all the Chiss fled the planet. Jixtus could easily be one of them. Or he can be Legends Thrawn coming back to reinstate the Legends universe.
What if Legends Thrawn was red, though? What if traveling between the world between worlds from Legends canon to new canon turned him from blue to red?
Well,
and he became like the reverse Thrawn.
Glad you asked. See, the reason he's red is because he resurrected himself through pure hate and pulled himself out of hell. So he's not actually red. His skin has fallen off.
I mean, men being like literally blood. Too angry to die is not off-brand for Star Wars. There's a lot of characters that fit that trope.
Yeah, and then he's going to bring in a clone of Darth Maul. And like Darth the Talon's going to come with him. He's going to have this entire Legends army.
Starkiller's going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Starkiller's going to be fighting Ahsoka. Don't worry. That's in the third book.
Oh, my God.
You can't forget about Nihilus.
Yep.
Come in and suck up everybody's life force real quick. Bye.
And then everyone's going to be...
That's when the time rates come in, Steve.
They're going to be fighting in the Masters of Terras Cassie tournament, right?
I don't know what that is, but sure.
It's the PlayStation 1 fighting game. It was really bad.
Yes, I agree with Steve. Okay. They're going to fight in the Master of Terry Bollea tournament.
Okay.
Right, Ryan?
Yeah. Let's get Terry involved.
Yeah, we can have Hulk Hogan in this story. That was Hulk Hogan's real name, Steve, if you didn't know that.
Bring in his brother, Horace.
Ryan wanted us to keep up conspiracy theories because he was eating dinner.
That was a conspiracy in and of itself.
Ryan, do you have any thoughts on the book or any conspiracy theories or books going in the future?
Probably. Maybe, and just maybe, he's getting ready to introduce the Yuuzhan Vong to Kanan.
Steve was talking about that earlier. See, you miss a lot, Ryan.
I know, but we had the same thought.
Yeah, we did have the same thought. I will give him that.
The Yuuzhan Vong are actually going to be the Red Chiss.
Oh my God!
I don't think they look like that.
Wide open.
They didn't really look like that, but let's go with that.
Yeah, but the Yadrits look like 3 different ways in Dragon Ball, depending on what like medium it was in. They look different in the anime, the manga, and Dragon Ball Online.
Well, that just shows there's no consistency in the world of Dragon Ball.
Right?
There really is not. What if Jixtus is Moro?
You know, I was actually going to say he's probably some sort of world eater.
What if he's Galactus? They do own Marvel.
Question. Can he not be the Cloud Galactus, but the actual Galactus?
He has to be the Cloud. He's going to eat the planet.
What if he was Frieza? I want him to be Frieza now.
We're getting very dangerous here.
How is Quilori going to die? Because he has to die by the end of this. He's a little prick.
The fact that he's honestly, he's that little rat character that just like skates along. He'll make it. Mark my words. He'll make it through the entire
Thrawn's like whole thing together like confused me because they both knew he was working for General Yiv, but did he know that Thrawn knew he worked for Yiv? Because he was clearly being his Pathfinder and being like, oh no, we got the wrong coordinates. And Thrawn's like, oh no, we got the wrong coordinates, when they both know he worked for Yiv and he was clearly going to take him to the wrong coordinates.
I think Thrawn just has an interesting sense of humor.
Yeah, but is Quilori that stupid to not realize that Thrawn knew?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
I don't even think it's just that he's that stupid. He's just so stuck in his horrible choices he's clearly making.
Also, what's really the penalty for getting kicked out of like the Pathfinder Guild or Navigator Guild, whatever it was? Because he was. Is it death? Because he was legitimately afraid.
I just assume
he was legitimately afraid to not cross Thrawn because he did not want to get kicked out.
Then you become a Legends character if you get kicked out of the Pathfinders.
That's worse. I'm
telling you, Jixtus is Legends Thrawn. He's coming to destroy the Chiss.
While we're talking about Legends characters, it should be. I really want it to be Trioculus at this point.
Steve, can you just tell us who that is?
Trioculus was a character who pretended to be the son of the Emperor and was like, I have great force powers. See, look, I'm using the glove of Darth Vader. And he found like an imitation glove that looked a lot like Darth Vader's, and he had these little things that he stuck into the fingertips of each glove. And when he squeezed them, it created like a high-pitched sonar thing that only like certain people could hear, and it gave off the illusion that they were being tortured by the Force.
Is that the fucking Mandarin from Iron Man 3?
No, but he has 3 eyes.
Nice.
Hence the name Trioculus.
He bids everyone dark greetings. He's a great meme character.
Is he Tien? Because isn't Tien a descendant of the Triclops?
Oh, he could be Tien.
Tien Shinhan.
Do we have any other theories on?
I want some more theories. Well, yeah, because there really wasn't not much actually happened in the end of this book.
No, and I also said it to Colin too. Like this part more than anything, I guess it's not. Well, I guess okay, yeah, fine. I felt like it was just rushed. Yeah. Like towards the end, like at one point they were like, okay, we can't world build anymore. We need to speed through the rest of this.
Yeah, there's a point in this where I think I had like 2 chapters left or 3 chapters left, and I was like, oh, they haven't beaten Yiv. They haven't even gone to fight Yiv in the Nakar-Dunya. I was like, are they gonna really like continue these guys on into the second book? And then it was like, nope. Cherry and friggin' Thalia's ripped their makeup off and friggin' roofied them all.
It's a good way of putting it.
Thrawn comes on the ship, arrests Yiv, and murders the rest of them. Well, by leaving them to die. He pulled the Batman Begins where he's like, I don't kill, but I don't have to save you.
No witnesses.
Which Batman is against that rule in the comics. Batman has to save you because that is killing to him. But in Batman Begins, for some reason, was different. But I'm not going to go on to that either.
Listen, they were darker times.
But yeah, they just walk up. They stuck the makeup thing with the hostages. Why was their makeup so hard and crusty? I just
makeup artists.
Because it was like they ripping off these chunks that were like leaving scabs on their face, and then they were like,
jeez,
unleashing this like gas to like knock everyone out, and it was like, oh, Jesus, Thrawn. And it's all because the Chiss are afraid to just like attack unless they're directly. The Chiss are gonna wait until like half of their force is like destroyed before they even go and like defend themselves.
They're completely reactionary.
Yeah, because the fact that Thrawn had to put up this entire scheme to get Sherry on the ship because the Skywalkers are the only thing they care about, and even then, they wouldn't attack unless they were directly, because they said that to Aralani before they knew if they Vac were going to be on their side or Yivs. They were like, well, we can't attack unless the Vac directly attack us.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of the Vac, by the way, I love their little code of honor thing they have with the thought lines, where they were like, first off, talking about Thrawn leaving those survivors behind to die and being like, he fucking killed some he like left innocent people to die. Aralani knew these innocent people from the Vac were legitimately gonna die. She lured them into getting killed because she was like, all right, we're gonna take a ceasefire, get out this little support ship, knowing full well that Nakardun was not gonna let them that happen. They were gonna shoot the ship down, which is gonna cause the Vac to all attack them all. So she set up this whole plan to just get these innocent people killed, just so they could have a reason to go on the offensive. And I was like, damn, she's more cold-blooded than Thrawn is.
Listen, man, she's a G.
Yo, right. She really is.
It takes a lot to come up in the Chiss military. I know from personal experience. Not all of us make it. All right, not all of us make it. And I'll give it. But I like that aspect of them. Like, I feel like that was something that was lacking throughout this whole thing. Is like, yeah, I get. It doesn't
happen till the end, guys. Her and Thrawn's big, like, yeah, no fucks given moments don't happen until the very end of this book.
Mm-hmm.
And even when she's telling, because she was telling Talius and fucking Sherry after, because when it happens, it's basically like, no, we won't attack. And the Nakardan's like, yeah, we won't attack either. And it's like, all right, they're sending a little support ship. And then the Nakardan's like, oh, fuck you guys, blows up both of them. And Talius like, oh no, guys, you weren't supposed to attack. And then the Vac are like, well, fuck those guys, attack. They started like defending their boys that got blown up. And then after she's telling Talius and Sherry, she's like, yeah, we knew that the Vac weren't going to get involved because they like to see everyone's thought lines. But when one of their own is killed, their thought lines destroyed, and all their thought lines merge into the one thought of, we have to avenge this person. So yeah, I kind of lured this like ship out knowing that they were going to get attacked, knowing that if they got attacked, the Vac would then attack the Cardoon, and we'd have a good overwhelming force going against, I think it was 3 dreadnoughts, because the 4th one was still with Yiv against Thrawn. So it was like, yeah, we were in a no-win situation until I sacrificed some innocents. I was like, damn, that's cold. That's why I fucking love her so much. I love Aralani and Thrawn.
Mm-hmm. And they would have been the greatest power couple.
Talius was growing on me.
Yeah.
The Skywalker, nah. Shit.
She'll grow.
Everyone else, they can all suck a dick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give a fuck about anyone else.
I felt that way about most of the Syntax and the Aristocra. It was just like I know we're there to world build and everything, and to show how political their whole system is, but let's be real.
Speaking on theories for the upcoming book, since, as I said earlier, first book in a planned trilogy, do you think the myth family patriarch will die at some point and it's going to pass over to someone else as the patriarch who does not like Thrawn, and he's going to lose his protections?
It's going to be Thurfian. Thurfian's going to be the next.
Oh.
He could be. I mean, he could try and engineer it to make
family.
it his way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think he'll assassinate him because he knows?
I think that could be the plot, is maybe trying to expose Thurfian for some foul play. That almost seems too obvious.
He knows that the patriarch is the reason Thrawn's, and he knows that he's the one protecting Thrawn, because he's even said at one point, he goes, this could only be someone as high up as, do you think it's the patriarch? So he has in his head that the patriarch is basically the one that's like protecting Thrawn. So you think there could be some like fucking Game of Thrones shit where he goes and fucking he just assassinates the patriarch?
I could see it.
Tries to take control, because that would be wild. And then Thrawn has to go against his own family, playing some fucking chess against these motherfuckers. Because I care way more about that then the fuck whatever happened with the Nakar. And unless Jixtus is Legends Thrawn or Red Chiss, I honestly don't care about him either, or Snoke. Because right now he's just an ominous voice from the clouds. I want to see more of these like Chiss manipulating each other.
He's future Thrawn though.
He's gonna be Thrawn's kid from the future.
Oh Jesus! Now it's Thrawn's kid. Don't sully Thrawn's good name with a crappy air.
It's gonna be Jason Solo.
It's gonna be Jar Jar.
I'd rather it be Jar Jar. Oh man.
So, are there any other items in this book to discuss, or any other theories that we have for the sequel, apart from potential Thurfian trying to play his way to the top of the ruling family? Or
honestly, I don't know, because the only real thing we didn't really talk about was basically, and we touched on a little bit, was the fact that the Arizi wanted him because they saw they were losing Aralani. He stayed with the myth, and now fucking Thurfian and Zistelmew both want to take him down. Zistelmew I can understand because he's from a rival family. Thurfian's whole thing is jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you're such a little bitch. So no, I don't really have anything else to say about the book. Anyone else?
I'll second the Thurfian being a bitch thing.
yeah.
1000%.
Yona, you got anything to say about the book? I know you hated it. Now's your time.
Now's your time.
Ryan, do you got anything else to say? You were gone for most of the meeting.
No, I mean, this
kind of.
book is going to collect some dust.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, Ryan, it is. Well, we can't see your face, so we don't know if you're going to speak or not.
Well, you can see my border lighting up.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to see more action in the second book. I don't like the whole. I mean, it was good to the point, but it was just a lot of talking, a lot of information being thrown at you at once. I'm more of an action person.
And also the action scenes, it seems like they like gloss over, and then they actually talk through like a play-by-play commentary about what actually happened, or actually show the action.
I mean, in the audiobook, I didn't hear any like special effects. There weren't like blaster shots or anything. There was like spaceship engine humming, and then
really
more talking.
I gotta find the official title for the Doctor Aphra audiobook if someone wants to talk about something right now.
But I will say it's a good table setter for the next book.
Yeah.
Yep. And don't worry, guys. This video doesn't have to end with the theories. You guys can post all your theories in the Discord.
Trust me, after tonight, I'm sure some of us will.
We already
more wild ones than not.
Timothy Zahn's gonna like your video on Twitter tonight. I'm really excited for him to watch now.
I mean, he may hate the part where I talk about Mara Jade being one of the worst characters of all time.
I think out of spite, then he might go with my theory instead of your theory, just to show you what for.
No, he's gonna make it Mara Jade because out of spite to me. He's like, well, you know what? You don't like her? Fine.
You can have her.
While I wasn't here, did Colin mention anything about Gungans at all?
No, but Yona brought up Darth Jar Jar being Jixtus, and I was like, I should have thought of that. It's just going to be an army. What if the Gungans originally occupied Chila and the Chiss chased them off?
Gungans are from the unknown regions.
And Jixtus is the original
The
dark
Gungan
force-using Gungan who was alive back on Chila. And he comes back to the world between worlds, and as he dies, he passes on his spirit energy and his force powers to Jar Jar Binks, who then... Now stay with me for a second.
So this is after the prequels, right? Not before.
Jar Jar is Snoke's father.
Good night, everybody.
All right, so join us in 2 weeks as we discuss the Doctor Aphra audiobook by Sarah Kuhn. we're gonna talk the whole book. I think it's like 5.5 or like 6.5 hours long.
It's not super long.
Yeah. So yeah, just listen to the whole audiobook. We'll talk about that in 2 weeks. Like the video, comment on the video, leave your crazy theories about who Jixus is. I don't want any of these sane theories like, oh, Jixus is like a Grisk who doesn't like the Chiss. No. I want theories like Jixus is Buzzswole from Pokemon.
He's an Ultra Beast? Yeah, we can go with that one.
So comment your crazy theories. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
As long as you're not Guzzlord.
Join the Discord. Guzzlord's the best Ultra Beast, especially as shiny. Join the Discord. Get a tattoo of Darth Jar Jar on your belly, and I will buy you nothing. Have a good day, everyone.